All right, here we go. Let's cook. So we got problem number 13 here. While doing a problem as calculator, Tom meant to divide a number by 2, but instead, he accidentally multiplied the number by 2. So I had some number, we'll call it x. Instead of dividing it by 2, what he did was he multiplied by 2. Which of the following calculations could Tom do to result on the calculator screen to obtain the result he originally wanted? All right, so he originally wanted some number divided by 2, but he accidentally times 2, okay? So we have this. So if we want divide by 2 and to get rid of this times 2, we're ultimately going to have to take this thing and we're going to have to divide by 4, all right? So that's letter E. Kind of a weird problem, okay? Nothing you can't handle. Let's take a look at number 14. The 8-sided figure below. Oh, there we go. The 8-sided figure below is divided into 5 congruent squares. The total area of the 5 squares is 125. What's the perimeter? All right. So if I've got 5 congruent squares and the total area is 125. Well, we know the area of each of these things. It's a square, so it's side times itself. We know there's 5 of them, and we know that it equals 125. Now, for most of you, you're just going to be like, well, duh, we just do this. Okay, well, you've got good intuitive brain. So if I divide by 5, I know that my side squared needs to equal 25. So that means each side is 5. So if I go ahead and count up how many sides I have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 times 5, that is 60, my friend, 60. All right, 12 times 5 is 60. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at number 15. Hi has $100 available. Not sure who Hi is. Okay, to buy a USB drives to back up data for his business computers. Each USB drive has a price of $8, and Hi will pay a sales tax of 7%. 7% sounds like California. What is the maximum number of USB drives Hi can buy? All right, so first of all, 7% has to be written as a decimal, so that's going to be always 2 decimal places, so 0.07. If I want to account for the original price of $8 plus the 7%, I'm going to be 1.07 is going to be my decimal that I want to multiply by. So if I go ahead and I multiply $8 times 1.07, this will give me how much total plus the tax he's going to pay for each USB. So I'm going to do 8 times 1.07, and I'm going to go ahead and get a $8.56. So $8.56 is how much each of these USBs are going to cost me. Now, if I have $100 available, I'm just going to simply take that $100 and I'm going to go ahead and divide by 8.56. Okay, and I get a total of 11.68 USB drives. Hey, that rounds up to 12, right? But it says, what is the maximum number of USB drives he can buy? All right, so that one's going to go ahead and be only 11. He can only buy 11. All right, don't get fooled by that one. All right, let's take a look at number 16. Number 16. A certain computer performs, okay, this one is not easy. I don't care what they say. A computer performs 1.5 times 10 to the 8 calculations per second. So how many seconds would it take this computer to perform 6 times 10 to the 16th calculations? You might be thinking to yourself, hey, all I got to do is I take this number and divide it by that, and I'm A-okay. Well, you've got to be pretty versed in your ability to do scientific notations. The one place I do this most often is my college algebra. So on your calculator, you can do this. I mean, this is probably what you'll do. Okay, so like originally this is what I did. All right, so if I got 6 times 10 to the 16th, so that means I move that decimal place 16 times. So I'm going to divide by 6, so 16 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Then I'm going to divide it by 1.5. shoot, 1.5. Now I'm not going to put the 0.5, so I'm going to do 15. Now it says I move this decimal place over 8, but I'm going to do it 7 times because one decimal place is going to account for this 5, so I'm going to have 7 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If I haven't mentioned already, make sure you have the TI 84C plus CE for the test. It'll be a lifesaver. Okay, if we go ahead and we count these number of zeros, you're going to end up getting J, 4 times 10 to the 8th. Okay, but what we can also do is we can say, okay, 6 divided by 1.5 is 4. Then we have times 10 to the, when we have power divided by power, we just subtract. 16 divided by 8, 16 minus 8 is just 8. 4 times 10 to the 8th, right? So like, this is a mathy way to do it. Again, this is what normal people will probably do. All right, let's take a look at the next one. Number 17. One of the following is an equation of the linear relationship. Okay, yada, yada, yada. All right, y equals mx plus b, we get it. What's the b? All right, 5. This one's a little bit tricky because we don't have, exact pointing. But it looks like I go up. Let's see here, I got to put my line on 2. Looks like I go up 1, 2, 3, and then over 2. All right, but that's not an option here. Okay, so I'm going to have to take my closest option. So it looks like I'm going to go up 2 over 1. Okay, right there. That's going to be my best bet. So it's a dead giveaway, the fact that my y-intercept is 5, and that's the only one with 5 there. All right, so E is my answer. E is my answer. All right, let's take a look at the next one. We got 2 full pages coming at you today. We got one problem. That's actually, I really can't explain it. It's pretty tough. Okay, but I'll do my best. All right, let's take a look at number 18. A square is circumscribed about a circle of 7-foot radius. What is the area of the square? Now, they put this here on purpose. It would be advantageous for you if they placed it here. This is 7 as well. This is a radius. So this is 7 as well. So that means the side of each of these, the side of each square is 14. 14. So just by looking at the answers, hopefully you can just say, oh, hey, 14 times 14 is probably 196. But I'm going to go ahead and do it for you anyway. All right, so 14 times 14, you betcha, 196. Not too bad, we're rolling. Okay, not too bad, we're rolling. All right, number 19. Okay, if you want me to slow down, too bad. We don't slow down for nobody. Number 19. 2 workers were hired to begin work at the same time. All right. How many people are going to skip this just because it's so friggin' long? All right, pretty ridiculous. So a worker's A contract called for a starting salary of 20 grand with an increase of 800 after each year of employment. So I look at this. So it'd be 20 grand is a fixed amount. We don't have any variables attached to it. We're going to add 800 bucks per year. All right. So if I take a look at this, like 20 grand is not connected to that X. So, so these are okay, I guess, because there's not. All right, so it's looking like A, but I'm not sure. I'm not positive. If extra, so the second one, workers B contract called for a starting salary of $15,200, all right, with an increase of $2,000 after each year of employment. All right, wherever these guys got a job, man, this sucks. All right, 20 grand, man, that ain't nothing. Well, maybe if you're working like, I don't know, that's terrible. So what we're going to do is we got to figure out when are they going to equal each other. All right, when are they going to equal each other? I mean, this one pops right off the page. Okay, it's A. We got 20 grand plus 800 per year. When is that going to equal 15,200 plus 2 grand per year? 2 grand per year. All right, next one. Ty and Sean, in 5 years, when I got 6 million people on this live, you're going to be like, hey, I remember when I was the only one on the live. All right, number 20, a ramp for loading trucks is 13 feet long and covers 12 feet along the way. How many feet high is the highest point on the ramp? All right, so how high is it right there? All right, this one's easy. We got a right triangle. We got A squared plus B squared equals C squared. There's actually some pretty, there's some special, we're not going to call it special right triangle because then I get to all the other junk. But it goes into like a 3, 4, 5 triangle where 3 squared plus 4 squared equals 5 squared. This is another one of those. It's a 5, 12, 13 triangle where 5 squared plus 12 squared equals 13 squared. All right, so my answer here is just going to be 5, right? 5. All right, page number 1 is done. Let's take a look at page number 2. I was not doing it the last 2 days. Yesterday I was very sick. Sunday was the Super Bowl. All right, don't hate the player, hate the game. The expression 7 times x plus 3 minus 3, blah, 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 is equivalent to, just go ahead and simplify. So we got 7x plus 21 minus 6x plus 6. All right, so I'll add like terms. 7x minus 6x is x. And then I'm going to go ahead and do plus 21 plus 6 is plus 27. So it looks like E, x plus 27. X plus 27. All right, Marshall, great for you to join us. If 115% of a number is 460, what is 75% of the number? All right, I'm going to explain this in like, I don't know, 30 seconds. Somebody go ahead and put an answer and see if you can get this one without me doing it right away. Okay, this one is tricky. Just a lot of intuitiveness here. A good formula I was taught when I taught special ed is over of equals percent over 100. Okay, 115% of a number, right? So that would be go here is 460. That would go here. Okay, we're not going to use that. It's not incredibly intuitive. I'm just kind of killing time here. All right, we got it. We got an answer up there. Sorry, everybody. Looks like Shaden got it. So 115 over number is 460. So some number x times 115%. I'm going to do 1.15. Percent is always going to be written as a decimal, equals 460. Remember, is means equals. So if I do my calculator, I'm going to go ahead and do 460 divided by 1.15. I'm going to end up getting 400. So my number is 400. Now it says what is 75% of that number? All right, always written as a decimal. So I'm going to take my 400, times it by 0.75, and I get 300. Shaden, you are right. All right, 300. Okay, tie was a close second. All right, number 23. When 2x minus 3 squared is written in the form ax squared plus bx plus c, where a, b, and c are integers, what is a plus b plus c? All right, see if you can get an answer up here before I finish the problem. All right, ax squared plus bx plus c is called standard quadratic form. All right, what we have is we have it written in vertex form. We're actually learning this right now in pre-calc. So what I need to do is I can go ahead and rewrite this like it says, except I'm going to rewrite it as 2 separate binomial terms. And if I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to do double distributive, all right, or FOIL, whatever you like to do. So I've got 4x squared minus 6x minus 6x plus 9. So I have 4x squared minus 12x plus 9. So the question is, this is my a, my number in front of x squared. Negative 12 would be my b, and then 9 would be the c. I would like, this would be a good problem if they didn't give you this. Like, who would actually remember that? I bet you, Ty, you would definitely remember that. All right, so we're going to do 4 plus 12. 4 minus 12 is negative 8, plus 9 gives me 1. Did we get that? I didn't see it. Okay, 1. C is 1. All right. Number 24. All right, we don't have very much longer. Probably another, I don't know, 5 minutes. What is the area in square feet of the figure below? Not too bad. So we're going to go ahead and break this up into chunks here. Multiple ways to do this. You could just minus this square or whatever. So this is 5. How long is this? Well, if this is 15, this is 25. That leaves this to be 10. So then I have 10 times 5 here. This gives me 50. And then here I just have 15 times 15. I believe That is 225. Okay. 225 plus 50? You got it. 275. Oh, 275. Letter H. All right, here we go. Barb. Barb. Barb is probably 57, do you think? She's going to cover a rectangular area 8 feet by 10 feet with rectangular paving blocks that are 4 inches by 8 inches to make a patio. In statistics, we actually kind of had a problem like this where it was feet in one area and then inches in the other. So what we need to do is, it says, what is the minimum number of paving blocks? So how many of these blocks can fit in this area? Well, if you work for a construction home, like maybe a construction place, like some of you actually do, you actually have to do these sort of calculations. So if we've got an 8 by 10, we got to go ahead and put these into inches. So I'm going to do 8 times 12. 8 times 12. I believe that's 96. Okay, let's just confirm. 8 times 12. Yep, so this is going to be a 96. That's 8 feet by 10 feet. All right, that's going to be 120 feet. So we need to figure out how many inches that is. That is 111,000, 520 inches. Now, how many, okay, they're trying to confuse you. 4 inch by 8 inch by 2 inch. Now, what that means is these 3 dimensions they're giving you, they're giving you the third dimension, which is depth. We don't care about depth. This would be 4 inches by 8 inches by 2 inches. We don't really care about that 2 inch. They're just trying to trick you. All right. So I go ahead and multiply, or I'm going to divide this by my 8 times 4. All right, so that's 32. So I'm going to do my 11,520 divided by 32 inches. I get 360 blocks. 360 blocks. Letter B. All right. Let's take a look at this one. We've got, what is the slope of the line represented by the equation 6y minus 14x equals 5? All right, so the slope I need to get using y equals mx plus b. All right, mx plus b, where b is my y-intercept. How many times do we go through this? Like, you learn this every year from 8th grade through 11th, and still students struggle. Hey, that's not their fault. That's our fault as math teachers. All right, we got an answer. We've got 6y minus 14x equals 5. I'm going to go ahead and add that 14x. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and divide by the 6. So I end up getting y equals 7 over 3. Ty, good call. Okay, 7 over 3 is my slope. All right, my slope is right there. All right, I'm going to save 27 for last because that one's the hardest problem I've seen since doing these. All right, 2 similar triangles have perimeters of in the ratio of 3 to 5, okay? So that means the perimeter of the small ratio is 3/5 the size of the ratio of the bigger triangle. So, of the perimeter of the bigger triangle. So the size of the smaller triangle is 3, 5, and 7. So if I'm going to go add those together, okay, 3, 5 plus 7, I'm going to go ahead and get 15. That'd be a good cribbage hand. All right, so I get 15. So I don't know what the bigger side is, but I know that this is 3/5 perimeter. So I get a proportion here. So we can go ahead and cross multiply. So I've got 3x. 3x equals 15 times 5. We've got 15, 30, 60, 75. All right. And then I go ahead and divide by 3. And I get letter J, 25. 25. All right, are we ready? We ready for the hardest problem ever? All right, let's take a look. All right, let's see what you guys can get for the answer here. I'm not going to do it right away. Let m and n be 2 positive integers such that m is smaller than n. Which of the following compound inequality must be true. Not true in some cases. It has to be true based on the mathematics. So the easiest thing you could do is simply maybe plug in like a number for m and n, like 1 and 2. But what's hard is even if you get the equality to be true, does that mean it's true for all of those equalities or just the one that you selected? So there is issue with that. Okay, if you find a counter example, that can be advantageous if you're trying to prove something against, but not something for. So I haven't seen any answers yet. Anybody want to go on a whim? What is it? Okay. An integer is a counting number. Negative or positive. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Negative 1, 2, 3, 4. No fractions or decimals. All right, we got A for a possible answer. All right, so this separates the kid who gets a 31 from the kid who gets a 35. So let's take a look. So if m is smaller than n, notice I have mn right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply this n by m. So I'm going to do the same thing over here. Notice, though, I don't have to worry about flipping. All right, we got another one, b. Notice I don't have to flip this right here because it's positive. If they were negative, I would flip it. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to square root both of those. So I got the square root of nm is less than n. Okay, so I've established that fact 100% true, okay? Since these are both positive, this is true. So like right away, these ones are kind of sus. Like I don't know what to do with those. Sorry, those were your guys' answers. So I'm going to try to figure out if I have the square root of n. You know, I don't know if I square root that n, this would make this to the 1/2 to the 1/2 to the 1/4. Like that just doesn't make sense. So the question is would this be true? All right. So if I had m and I knew n was bigger, right? So let's say if m was 2 and then n was 3, all right, that'd be 6, right? Is the square root of 6 bigger than 2? Right? Let's just this doesn't prove it. Okay, this doesn't prove it. So I have the square root of 6. That is bigger than 2. Okay, is there any number that you can give me where n is bigger than m that when I square root it, it's smaller than m? Let's try m is 5 and n is 6. All right, so it'll be 5 times 6. All right, so that's square root of 30. I did not just do 5 times 6 in my calculator. You guys didn't see that. All right, square root of 5 times 6. Oh, that's bigger than 5, right? So just based off like just intuition, I put C and I looked over at the answer key and it was C. All right, you want to see what it actually says? All right, let me raise this thing up. This is literally what it says. This is how you prove it for 27. Yeah, I don't know. That's a bunch of geek stuff. All right, we'll just roll with C. All right, best try. That was the first time I see some of you guys getting it wrong. All right, well, I'm out for the night. We'll see you tomorrow. All right, remember, it's not easy, but it is simple. Peace out.